Hey guys, I thought I might be doing a little bit of something different. Since I've been going to college a little bit and understanding programming from a basic concept, I thought I might take on something very interesting. Everyone has heard of Keep Talking Nobody Explodes and whatnot, and how the game is very, how I say it, energetic. Well, I thought we could create a program that allows us to solve bombs. That's right. We'll be creating some classes that will deal with some of the modules, and then we'll finally make a main class that will combine all these classes. Alright, so I've already made our source folder here. Let's create a class. And the first module we'll be doing is none other than subject of wires, because why not? So we're just going to call it wires. Import our Java exits. There we go. Now, one thing I need to do. Yes, let's see here. Gotta do, what is it, last digit? Yeah, I'm gonna make basically a private int digit. We're gonna create a constructor class, or I mean constructor method, public wires. We're gonna enter in the serial number. There we go. So the digit is gonna equal to the character dot get numeric value, which basically turns a character into a numeric value. sn.char at, which basically returns us a char of that serial number at the sn.length, which is basically the length of a string. Of course, I have to do -1 because it starts at 0. Get used to this. This is how you get the last line. This is how you get the last digit of the serial number. Very tedious, but it's definitely a very useful tool. So after we made our constructor class, let's go through the run method here. Void run. So we're gonna have option p actually string input equals option pane dot show input dialog. Enter color of wires top to bottom, and we're gonna add this too, because this makes it easier. Spaces. There we go. Enter color of wires top to bottom, spaces. So basically we're assuming that there's going to be spaces between the colors of the wire. And then we're going to have a string, an array of wires equal to input. And since we did do spaces, we're going to add this regiment split for every time there's a space. So this takes care of a couple things. It will give us how many wires there are, as well as what color the wires are, as well as the order of the colors, since I said top to bottom. So, what do we do now? Well, we're going to do a switch statement. We're going to put wires dot length. Alright, and when we do the switch statement, we're actually going to run a couple different methods. They're going to be all private, since we don't want anyone to access them. Private void wire3 or wires3. We're going to do this a couple times. 3, 4, 5, 6, because that's how many wires that could be on this module. As you can see, 3 wires, 4 wires, 5 wires, 6 wires. So depending on the length of the wires, actually there's one more thing I should probably do. String W. Got to pass in this parameter because I have to. Cool. So let's do the cases. And since this is returning an int, we're going to do 3. We're going to call wires 3. And the parameter or the argument we're passing in is wires break. Now we're going to do this a couple times. 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. There we go. Now that we got switch statements and whatnot, basically our run class is done. Now we have to figure out what each method does when we reach those methods. So this is one, of course, there's 3 wires, there are 4 wires, 5 wires, and so on, 6 wires. So in 3 wires, we're going to go through each step and see which one is correct. So we're going to do an if statement. Actually, there's a better way to do this. Give me a second. Yeah, there's definitely a better way of doing this. Give me a second. I'm going to clear all these. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to do a for loop. Int equals, I'll do AA equals 0. AA is less than wires dot length. AA plus plus. Okay. And I could set up, nah, we'll do it here. It's fine. Because I gotta set these up. Gotta have an int red count. I think I'm gonna do all of them too. Have a number of blues, yellows, black count, and finally int white count. Oops. There we go. Now I establish these two. We're now going to do the switch statement here. We're going to do wires at AA, which is basically the counter. It's going to go through every single wire that's in it and see which fits the case. So our first case is going to be red. Now, one thing I probably should do, just in case, is I could do input equals input dot to lowercase, which will just put all the letters to lowercase letters. So when the wire is red, we're going to do red count and add 1 to it. So basically the others are the same. So blue, yellow, black, white. Blue, blue, yellow, yellow, oh no, black, yellow goes up here, yellow, black, and finally white. There we go. This will give us a count of everything. Alright, Now I gotta fix these. So if there are no red wires, so we're gonna need an int red count. Oops. Last wire is white. Okay, we'll do it like so. No. What am I doing? Wires, red count. If there's more than one blue wire, blue count. Blue count. Otherwise, cut the last wire. That's it. So we're gonna have a string W. Let's see. No. Int. Let's see. Int Lucy. Alright. So we're going to go through all these steps. If red C equals 0, which means if there are no red wires, second wire. So if there are no red wires, which means the red count equals 0, we're going to cut the second wire. Else if wire at, I could do something cheeky, but I'd rather not. Since it's going to be wire's length, it's going to start at 0. That equals white. So this just means if the last wire, which is that bottom one, since it goes 0, 1, 2, and there's 3 wires, the last wire is white. Just copy this for a bit. We're gonna cut the last wire. Else if blue count is greater than 1, which means there's more than one blue wire, cut the last blue wire. Else and above everything else, otherwise cut the last wire. So this is if no red wires, cut the second wire. Otherwise, if the last wire is white, cut the last wire. Otherwise, if there's more than one blue wire, cut the last blue wire. Otherwise, just cut the last wire. Cool. And we set that one up. So for 4 wires, there's a little bit more to it. We're going to need a red. We're going to need a red count to see how many red wires are there. We're going to need a blue count, a yellow. Now, if the last wire is yellow, okay, so we're going to do wires here. So red, blue, if there's more than one, so yes, we're going to need a yellow count. That, do this, okay. So basically, it's going to be exactly like the fourth one is going to be exactly like this, except we're also going to add a yellow count. So let's go through these things. If, and I'll do a double parenthesis here, if the red count is greater than 1, which means there's more than one red wire, and the last digit, so we're going to do an AND statement here, and digit, we'll do a modulus 2, is odd, so equals 1. This line just means if the last digit is odd. And since we already got the last digit from up here, This should be ready to go. Oops. No, I want to copy. Oh well. Now, we're gonna say cut the last red wire. Else if, which means just otherwise. Okay, another double quotes I'll do. Wise, if the wire's at 3, which means the last wire, which is number 4, that equals yellow, and red count equals, which means there's no red wires. Copy this a little bit. We are going to cut the first wire. Now copy this. Else if blue count equals exactly 1, we're going to cut the first wire too. So I could have done an OR statement combining these two, but for the case of this, we'll make sure this is just a separate case from this. We could just combine these two and say, if either one, we just cut the first wire. Oops. Otherwise, the yellow count is greater than 1, which means there's more than one yellow wire. We're going to cut the last wire. Else, otherwise, we're going to cut the second wire. There you have it. That's 4 wires right there. Next up, 5 wires. Wires 5 is definitely going to need wires. It's going to need exactly 1 red. So we need a red count. We're going to need a yellow count because more than 1 yellow. If there are no black wires, which means we're going to need a black count. I think that's it. So we're going to have a string of wires, int red C, int yellow C, and then int BLAC, black count. Seems to be the problem. Class body? What? It's because of this? Yeah, it is doing something weird. Whatever. Alright, so for the first case, make sure these are in the right sections. Yellow count, black count. If the last wire, so if wire we're at 5, which means it's going to be at 4. I hope so. Because last time it was at 3, and now this is at 4. That equals the last wire is black, and digit modulus 2 equals if the last digit is odd. Can I? Okay, there we go. We're going to cut the 4th wire. Actually, this one's going to be used a lot. Otherwise, if there is exactly 1 red wire, so red C, there's exactly 1 red wire, and there is more than 1 yellow wire, we're going to cut the first. Else if, so red wire, otherwise black C 0, which means there's no black wires, we are going to cut the second wire. Otherwise, we're going to cut the first wire. There you go. There's number 5. Cool, huh? Alright, last but not least, the 6 wire. We're going to need an yellow. Oh, sorry, we're going to need a yellow count. We're going to need that red count. So there's a red, there's no blues, there's a yellow. There's going to be a white count. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Alright, so this is going to be an int red C. Red count. A int yellow C. And a white C. So if yellow C equals 0, which means no yellow wires, and the digit is odd, we are going to cut the third wire. Right? Otherwise, if there's exactly one yellow wire and, let's see, more than one white wire, we're going to cut the fourth wire. Otherwise, if red C, so if there's no red wires, we're going to cut the last wire. Oops. Otherwise, cut the fourth wire. Cool. So, let's take it through a step run, shall we? So in order for this to work, we are going to need a bit of a driver. So we're going to put in a new class, call it KTANE for now. And since the only oh, okay. Swing dot star void run public static void main string args. So basically this is going to be our main method, which will be able to run our stuff. And I gotta say something. Input dialog, serial number. I gotta test something out real fast. See what happens when I do this. Let's run this just real fast. So if I say DJ 12 or 13 DA2. Yeah, that's DJ 13 DA2. Huh, interesting. So what if I just do it regular? DAUD G1. G1. Cool. Sweet. So we're going to create, so while we're here, we're going to create an object called wires m1 equals new wires. And here we got to put in our, because since we've created a constructor here that takes in the serial number, whatnot, we're going to put in this constructor here. So all I have to do now is m1.run. And this will run this command, this method. It can't run any of these methods because all these are private. We don't want these to be public, else people will be messing around with it, and I don't want that. So, there we go. So, here's what we're going to do. We're probably going to do a game of Keep Talking Nobody Explodes, and I'll see in about a second. Let's see. Now, which one is it? Nope. That's the one I want to get rid of. I don't know how well on screen this is going to look. Let's run this. Cool. Let's find this. Oh. Cool. Let's see how well it does. Oh, that kind of stinks. What happened? It should have showed all the things. What happened? Oh, probably because I did that. No biggies. Looks like it's not doing it well. Kind of stinks. Alright, we're gonna add a game capture. This. Cool. However, that kind of blocks the thing. But no worries. I got this under control. Let's see if this works. So I got a handy dandy notepad here in which I can write all my stuff and whatnot. So I'll be able to write down all the data that it's given me. This likes to load anytime soon. There it goes. So here we go. Wires. 5 modules, 3 strings. By the way, this is definitely a good mission so to practice stuff. Also allows me to test a lot of things that are on here. So let's start with the first one. We're going to do red, black, red, white, black, blue. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Next up, we're going to look at, oh, wow, 6 wires. This is interesting. White, red, black, then blue, blue, blue. barely any 5 wires. This is interesting. All right, next up is going to be red, black, white. Next up is going to be red, yellow, black, there goes the thing, white, blue, red. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And last but not least, we have white, yellow, black, red, blue, red. Alright. After we got that, we're going to look at the serial number, which is right here. Of course, none of this really matters, only the last digit, which is actually odd. So 8A7, TU9. So let's take a look at this. I'm gonna run this now. Hopefully. Oh, you can't see it. Well, you know what? I'm gonna do this. There, you can see everything now. It's fine. This was just basically a startup to see how everything goes. So 8A7, TU9. Alright, so the first one we had is red, black, red, black, red, white, black, blue. Oh, that should not be. Oh, jeez. Oh boy. This is bad if it starts doing this. Oh boy. Looks like we've encountered some problems. Oh, game. Why did you do this to me? Oh no. This is bad. Oh dear Lord, please tell me. Oh my goodness. This is a mess. I'm sorry to do this. But on camera too. This is... Oh great. I screwed up the pooch on this one. Wonder why this software didn't give me any errors like, well, you should not be doing this, but I'm gonna let you do it anyway. Alright. And actually we're gonna do this a couple more times. 4 or 5. Because we're doing 5 modules. So our 8A7TU9. So first one was red, black, red, white, black, blue. So what is this? It says third wire. I'll believe it when I see it. Which color? So white, red, black, blue, blue, blue. White, black, blue, blue, blue. Third wire again. Interesting. Okay, what about red, black, white? Last wire. So the third wire. Okay, red, yellow, black, white, blue, red. Fourth wire. And last but not least, white, yellow, black, red, blue, red. and fourth wire. Oh, hopefully I know what it's doing. So, let's see. Red, black. It looks like it's this one. Cool. That's good. How about this one? Nice. Last wire on this one. Yep. Fourth wire. Yep. And fourth wire. We, of course, can do this a couple more times if it needs there to be. Which I probably should do it one more time to see if it is in fact working. The true test to all this would be to actually go through the different methods and to see if each one actually does work. So, continue. So, let's do that again. One more time. How about this? For each module, we'll do it twice to see if it works well enough. Of course, not enough testing can go up. Let's see. We got 4 wires now. And 5 wires. Okay, this is a wide variety. So we're gonna have blue, 2 blacks, black, then a yellow, white, blue. Cool. Next, we got 5 wire here. We got a yellow, a red, a black, a blue. So yellow, red, black, blue, and a white. That's one of each color. Next, our 3 color one is black, red, black. Next one is white, black, yellow. And finally, a 4th one is the blue, white, black, and yellow. Cool. Alright, let's input this into our machine here. Oh, one thing I forgot. Let's move that over there. This one's even now. LU2BT4. So, let's do this. LUTBT4. So our first one is blue, black, yellow, white, blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it says, cut the last wire. Huh. For a 6-wire one? Interesting. Alright, yellow, red, black, blue, white. This is the 5-wire one. Cut the first wire. Next, black, red, black. Cut the last. Next, white, black, yellow. So white, black, yellow. Cut the second. And finally, blue, white, black, yellow. Cut the first. So, the 6-wire one said the last one. You're correct. The 5 one says 1. Correct. This one said last. This one said the second. And this one said the first. Faster than last time. Well, hope you enjoy watching me code, diffusing wires and whatnot. That was fun. Until then, I'll see you next time and we'll handle the button. That will be much easier than the wires. It's kind of a step up to do wires and then it's gotta be leaped down to do button. Hope you enjoy the gameplay. See you next time.